So good morning, everybody. I'd love to say I have the exact words for how to start this. I'm so excited that I may ramble on myself. My name's Chris Doyle. I'm from Jackson, Tennessee. I've been a part of this company for over 7 years now. It doesn't seem like it's possible that it's been over 7 years. And when the announcements came yesterday, some of you may have been on that call, some of you may not have been on the call. It's a day that I've been looking forward to and excited about for some time. So you know, when we were looking at this company, our whole goal was to find a company that was going to be extremely strong, stable. I think Aaron and Ken and Todd would all agree that we were looking for the long term. We weren't looking for short term, and had a conversation about some of our friends who went other places because they were looking for a quick buck, and those companies are not even in existence today. And I certainly don't wish that on them. I pray that they do the right things and find the right company for them. But I remember asking Jeff Yates. I want you to know that Jeff Yates, our chief financial officer, the day we met with them, I asked him did he think this company would go public, and he said it won't be soon, but that possibility will always be there if the opportunity is right. And that's the way he described it. If the opportunity is right for us, then yes. If it's good for the rep base, if it's good for the ownership, there is a possibility this company will go public. Well, a lot of you don't think that's a good thing, and you look at it from the wrong perspective. It means you have another way of making money. It makes another way for you to be invested. And for me, I'm just so excited because this actually happened yesterday. And I just know for me, it's an opportunity to really do something that actually, I've always felt like ARIIX had done me something special, but it just means it's going to take things to another level for me. I had so many texts last night from people already wanting to know how they, ready to buy their stock, wanting to buy stock because the ownership. And if you start learning what these guys have done with other companies, you're going to know that we're not the people. Listen, these guys have a reputation in the stock exchange. They know who they are. These people, when they announce this is going to be a great thing. I am not here to get you to buy stock. That's not my goal. I want you to know what it means to you. And Todd and I have talked about this. Guys, if you're just here to build a sideline business, not interested in that part, it's not going to change anything for you. You're a part of ARIIX. It just simply means the company's going to stay strong, and you're in a position that the company's going to give you some other opportunities. So with that, I'm going to turn this to Todd. We talked about all the things it could mean for all of us. And guys, for me, I can just tell you, I really believe we have something real in our hands that's going to put us in a position to do something that we've seen and heard about people doing, that especially my folks from Arkansas, when we can go and find out people that started as greeters or janitors that became multimillionaires with Walmart because they positioned at the right time when that company grew. And I think that we're also in that same position should you decide to take advantage of it. So Todd, with that, I'm going to turn it to you and let you get your thoughts. And we're also excited. I just want you to give your thoughts on this as well. Then we'll go to Aaron.
Yeah, awesome, Chris. Well, exciting to see 200 plus people here show up on late notice on a Thursday morning when most of the country's back at work. And great things going on, Chris. The only thing I'm going to mention about the stock itself is that there are two people I'm betting on. Number one is myself. I love when I can put money on myself and control my future. I know what I'm going to build in the company over the next 5 to 10 years. And the second group of people I'm betting on, actually there's three groups of people. The second group is the owners of the company. I bet on them when we made a decision to come here 7 years ago. They've outdone the expectations I had on them from an integrity standpoint, and from everything they told me, they've not only exceeded what they said, but they've done more. And the third group of people I'm going to bet on are the leaders out there in the field that I know and what they're going to do in the company. So from a stock price standpoint, we have no idea what price it will launch at. I have no idea what price it'll go to. I've done my research of what Jeff Yates did and Fred Cooper did as a CEO in a previous company, taking it from 88 cents to 60, I think, when they left that company, and it's up to 75 as of yesterday. So I've seen their track record. But what I'm going to talk to you about here for about 4 or 5 minutes and then turn it over to Ken and Aaron is what it does for us building a business, because that's where I know 100% that we control our destiny. Network marketing is the one avenue that you can build a network of distributors in your city, town, state, country, continent, and eventually around the world that sell high quality products, and in ARIIX through multiple divisions, and it's direct to the consumer, which is where everything is going. Home-based business is the new key word in the world. We all want one now. We all want the extra security. There's probably never been, timing is everything in business, and there's probably never been a setup timing-wise in the home-based business, network marketing, multi-level marketing world for somebody to get on the right company and ride a wave and build a business and set themselves free over a 3, 4, 5 year time frame like there is at this moment in ARIIX. So from a going public standpoint, what it does for ARIIX, you got to think about the company did $235 million in revenue last year. That's a lot of revenue, but it pays 51% out into the pay plan. So that means 115 plus million of that was paid out to you and I. You know, they're talking about us being on pace this year for more than 500 million in revenue, but still 250 of that's paid out into the field. So the rest of that has to create products. It has to buy inventory. It has to, you know, every country we open up, several $1 million in fees and in licensings. Then you got to open up offices. Then you got to hire more employees. Then you eventually hire managers of those areas. So where I'm going with all that is it takes tremendous capital to do something on the scale that ARIIX is trying to get accomplished. We want to be a $10 billion company one day operating in all operatable countries. We're opening 50 that we can get products into now with physical offices in 23. I know just from studying the industry that we can get at least 60 to 70 countries officially opened. Vietnam, the Philippines, a lot of great countries that we're not even really getting products into yet that we'll eventually have offices in one day. And what going public for the company allows them to do is raise that capital and be able to create infrastructure quicker. We all know that our shopping experience can be improved. Obviously, when you're creating a better shopping experience in a company like ARIIX, they're not creating some little thing online. They've got to have this thing transferable in like 30 currencies and 15 languages and all kind of different things going on. So lots of money when IT's involved. So all of those things that money can make better are about to get a lot better in the company. And then the last thing I want to mention to you is I want you to keep your eye on is anytime you bump into somebody that is in another network marketing company, because there's some startup starting in somebody's basement every 3 days. It's like Chris said, there was a bunch of people told us we shouldn't go to ARIIX and that we should go follow them and we'd make more money. And they might have been right that first year, but Aaron and myself, Ken, Chris, we were all looking with the end in mind. We wanted to create a residual income. I have a destiny with Jesus one day. And when I sit down across the table from somebody, when I tell them something, it is, for me, it's an integrity and it's a truth issue. And I didn't want to ever share a company that might go away one day, because most people I share the company with never even meet the owners in person. They meet me. And so it's a reflection upon me when a company doesn't go long term. And that happened to me one time in this industry. I never want it to happen again. So we chose ARIIX with the end in mind. Going public creates that stability that it's going to be here from now on. But what I want you to know is that we can go after these small companies and they can end up in your business. So if you know somebody in another company, talk to them, ask them, do they know a top money owner? Ask them, do they know an owner? And then get with your upline and get us in front of them. And now that we're going public, it even makes it easier for the company to merge a company in. The company doesn't merge a company into the company. It merges it into whoever found it. So if you find the owner of the company and they're willing to make a move, it goes right into your organization, just like you signed up a rep, except you get a whole bunch at one time. So we're here to help you with that. And that being said, we'll come back and Chris and I will both be at the tail end of this answering questions. We're not going to know any stock market questions. I'm not a trader. We don't know anything, although we had a partners council call yesterday and a top 25 power anchors call. We were told nothing that you weren't told. The one thing that they did say is that the owners they'll obviously all the percentage that they own of the company will be converted into stock, but they did say that they will not be allowed to buy stock themselves until 48 hours after it goes live to everyone. So we're all going to know on the second we can buy stock. I did. The other thing I will mention is I did download the Robinhood app yesterday, and I know a lot of people have they mentioned Ameritrade and Robinhood, so I went ahead and set that up where I could be flexible to do it. But that's here nor there. We're going to go build a huge business, and the reason I'm going to invest in the stock market is because I'm going to go build a huge business. I'm going to make this company a $10 billion company, and I'd like to make money on both sides of it. On the infrastructure side, getting paid a residual income as products get moved around the world, but also as the stock prices rise, be able to actually have ownership in the company. But that being said, let's go to Ken Bailey, and then Aaron Decker, the fastest growing person in ARIIX right now. We'll go to him at the end to get his closing comments. Ken, what do you think about it? Ken is an IT guy, not a stock trading guy, but an IT guy. But what's your IT perspective?
Todd, I really, as I posted on MOA Challenge last night, I really think this adds rocket fuel to the ARIIX jet. I mean, we were moving along, been moving along fast, but I think this puts us into turbo mode. And here's what I want people to think about. Todd, when we joined the company, and you've referred to this, been a little over 7 years ago, we had 2 brands. Folks, in 7 years, we went from 2 brands to 9 brands. That's great. But I think with this announcement, Todd, imagine this, folks, within the next 2 years, going from 9 brands to 15 or 20 brands. That's the kind of thing that will happen. Todd mentioned the countries. We've got offices in 23 countries, shipping into about 40 countries. Imagine that going to 50 countries, 100 countries within the next 2 years. That's the kind of thing that this allows to happen. Think about new contests and promotions where you receive stock from the company. The AOR points can be converted to stock. So there's a whole lot more opportunities like that. So all that's going on, we're enjoying the best compensation plan in the industry, but being able to take part of the wealth creation through the stock. And then the last thing I want to address, Todd, the first objection, the main objection people have, and I brought this up immediately on the call. Okay, we've been very, very rep-based, putting reps first. Okay, and all of a sudden you've got stockholders involved. How are we assured that we're still the most important thing? And I believe, and you were on there, Deanna Latson probably answered that question best, Chris, Todd, Aaron. She said, and think about this, these owners came from USANA, which was a publicly traded company, and the main reason they started ARIIX is because USANA become unrep friendly. Okay, the reason they started this company with the Bill of Rights and the best compensation plan is because they know the way you grow a company is to take care of the reps first, which will raise the stock price. Okay, and then Fred Cooper said, and I think this is key, if you don't trust us, trust my greed. Okay, now what does that mean? Todd kind of pointed this out. Fred, by the way, everybody, Fred will still be the CEO. Deanna Latson's still the Chief Product Officer. So we know we're going to have the same clean products. We're still going to have the Bill of Rights. All that stays in place. But here's the key thing. Fred can't sell stock for at least 3 years. Now think about that. So the only way he makes money is to grow the company over at least 3 years. And the way they grow a company is by taking care of the reps first. Okay. So, I mean, that, to me, Todd, that puts everything at ease. Hey, they're still going to put the reps first. We still have the same name. It'll still be ARIIX, the same compensation plan, the same Bill of Rights, all of that, but we get to partake in that wealth creation in addition to the best compensation plan, the best products, all that remains. So I really do think it's a win-win, Todd.
There's zero doubt, Ken. You know, it's you don't necessarily have to put a single dollar on the stock market. You can build your huge business, but why not ride both at whatever degree? And you know, another great thing, we've had this set up the whole time, but in the ARIIX pay plan, you've got the savings account where when you start making more than $250 here on a weekly basis, you get an extra 15% put into a savings account with you can get as much as $2,000 extra put into that. So, you know, what I highly suggest is people get that savings account maxing out at $2,000 a month or $500 a week. And once you get it to 10,000, then you can, and they may even make some exceptions to this now that we're public, but for sure when it gets to 10,000, you already had the ability to opt into other investment programs the company runs and let that money start growing. So now you'll be able to opt that savings account in, and you got your base pay and your matching check and everything paying you every Friday on direct deposit. If you want that savings account, instead of buying a new car with it, you could opt into the stock market and set up a total retirement here between residual income and stock prices growing over the next 10 years. Aaron Decker, I got to brag.
Real quick, one more thing I think people don't know from the questions we're seeing and stuff already is there's 2 companies, publicly traded network marketing companies, that ARIIX is deciding who they're going to merge with. And the reason it's taken a while to make that decision, they're deciding which one's the best for ARIIX, which one's for the best for us to get the best products, to get the best countries opening up, everything. And Mark Wilson might have put it best. He said it's like if you went and looked at 2 new houses and you like both houses, but you're making a huge decision for the rest of your life on which house you want to live in. They're checking everything to decide which one's the best fit for ARIIX.
Yeah, a timeline is they're saying about 2 weeks, could be a month, but again, the one thing that this group of owners has been for us for 7 years is 1,000% transparent. They've got the Partners Council, they got the Founders Club. I've been on a Partners Council along with most of these guys almost every year, and they're transparent almost to a fault, because to get something simple changed sometimes takes 8 months because they got to run it by a Partners Council in 24 countries and get approval, and it's painstakingly hard to get 150 people in agreement, and that's basically what they got to do to do anything out here. So anyway, that being said, I got to brag on Aaron and Ginger just for a second. They and their team is growing as fast as anybody in the world right now. Congratulations to, if you're some of those new reps here, congratulations to your whole team and welcome on board. You guys are amazing, and it's only the beginning of something great. Aaron and Ginger have nothing. I always tell people, nothing ever happens by accident. Luck shows up to those who work the hardest, and Aaron and Ginger have been plowing their fields for a number of years, and it's always nice when that corn actually pops the ground and explodes out and starts making more corn, and off it goes. But Aaron and Ginger, congratulations on y'all's growth. And Aaron, give us your perspective, and Dr. Ginger too, if you'd like.
He's not here, but I'll tell you what, guys, if you ever wanted to have a crystal ball, this is the closest thing that you'll ever get right here. And I'm going to reiterate what Todd said. It's not about what the company's going to do. It's what I'm going to do. It's what Todd's going to do. It's what others are going to do. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind we'll be 10 billion. Here's my prediction. We'll be 10 billion in less than 10 years. I believe we'll be 5 billion in less than 3 years. That's just my personal prediction. This is recorded. Play it back to me in 3 years and tell me I'm wrong. So that's that. But you guys think about it. This gives a whole new meaning to timing, right? In this industry, everybody's like, you got to get at the right time. Okay. Get on the ground floor. Understand, I always love what Todd, you say, the stars are aligned when everything just kind of crushes and merges together. Think about what we've got. You've got the timing in just ARIIX, just building your business. We already know that the world changed and the world just said, hey guys, guess what? Red flag, neon sign, you need to join ARIIX because it's home-based, it's nutrition, it's got everything you want and more. That just happened. The company's already exploding. Now think about this. Timing. You and I, this is like, I was sharing this with somebody else. Imagine sitting down with Steve Jobs and he went and built Apple. Let's just pretend he's still alive. And he says, you know what? I figured out a better way to build a better mousetrap. Here's my plan. And oh, by the way, I'm bringing in all these other gurus that I know, and these other companies are going to come with me. And we're going to go build the biggest company anybody's ever seen. Would you believe him? Would you invest in them? I bet you would. And that's what we've got. Guys, this isn't just our owners. Think about this. And I've said this now for several years. Network marketing as we know it is going the route of corporate America. What happened in corporate America about 2 decades ago? Major companies started to buy up other companies. And all of a sudden, just a couple monster companies rose to the top. It is going to happen in this industry. But here's where we have the massive advantage. No other company can do what we can do because no other company has a comp plan that allows us to literally merge, acquire, or buy any company, any comp plan without disrupting anything. Not just on the comp plan side, but because of the brand strategy, we can literally take that company, stick it in rank and file, put all of their products on the menu screen, and guess what? You can either sell them or not. It doesn't matter. Guys, nobody else can do. We are untouchable. Nobody can copy what we're doing. So if you can't copy somebody and you're a good business person, then you see the way this industry is going and that there's only going to be a couple big powerhouses because like Todd said, yeah, there's a couple people starting a company in their garage. Those days are not going to be here long because they will not be able to compete. There's a day, and it's not far off. There's a day where people will beg you to join ARIIX. They're going to be looking for you because they just can't compete over here. Guys, I had somebody in our house the other night, and they're with a company that's been around a long time, but they just can't get off the ground. Why? Because they can't touch what we're doing. Right place, right time, right leadership, right people. Invest in the stock, don't invest in the stock. I don't care. I know I am, because like Todd, I'm invested in me. I'm not invested in anybody but me. I know what I'm going to do. I know what some of these other people are going to do. And you and I get to participate in that. And then the last thing that I want to mention, because this is the part that I think a lot of people are missing. And this is magic to me. Remember, everybody's got to win. If anybody's going to win, everybody's got to win. I've always struggled with this. In fact, I've tried to recruit a couple. You ever call customer support? You ever go into our corporate office and talk to some of the top executives, those second-tier executives? You ever ask yourself, I wonder how much they're making? I know what some of us are making, and I'm thinking, man, they look at our checks. Like, that's got to be hard to go and make a six-figure income or make $18, $20 an hour and say, yeah, oh, wow, you're in my back office, and you look at Todd's like, that's got to be hard to sit there and take care of all of the stuff that we don't want to take care of and make this much money. Guess what this allows the company to do, you guys? Give stock options to employees, to other executives. Guess what? They now have skin in the game. Who wants to build the business now? We do. Who wants to build the business now? They do. Guys, it's the best of both worlds coming together, because now everybody is going to be compensated on performance, and people will perform when it affects their bottom line. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm just fired up about the whole deal.
You and I both there.
Yeah, and I want to remind everybody that you still can't call and find anybody that's heard of ARIIX. So maybe never before in history has there been a company that's getting ready to go through such a growth curve that nobody knows who we are. So when this thing takes off, I mean, people that join our business 2 years from now still can catch market share beyond belief. So, you know, there are times where in life you just got to go all in. I used to tell my football players this. I didn't say it every single year I coached, because every single year we didn't have the talent to go to the state championship. But there were a couple of teams that if we were willing to work, we had the ability to win it all, and we did. But you have to be all in, because anybody can beat you anytime. This is a moment in time. You got to go all in. I'm talking about you got to go all in on the approved food list. You got to go all in on taking the products correctly, getting your health beautifully under control so you'll have the energy, so you'll look the part, so your skin, everything will be all in. You got to go all, if you're part-time, you got to turn the deadgum news and TV and negativity of the world off, and you got to go all in. And you got to make phone calls, and you got to make posts on social media, and you got to do meetings on Zooms, and you got to do 2-on-1s in living rooms. And somebody asked me just yesterday, what's the real secret of building a huge network marketing business? And I said, how many friends can you make? That's all this is about, is building true relationships with people. Best friends across the country. There's not a state in the United States that I could have a flat in and not call somebody and be able to them to come pick me up and go spend the night at their house, because of this industry allowing me to meet people I otherwise would have never met. So your job, if you'd like to go change your life forever, is to go meet about 100 new best friends and spend the energy building the relationship and helping them change their life. And if you do that over the next 3, 4, 5 years, you're going to catch a wave, and you're going to ride it here in this company for the rest of your life. It's just going to happen. And it's like, I'm not predicting the company. I'm predicting Aaron Decker, Todd Rowland, Brent Palmer, Chris Doyle, Ken Bailey, and all the other leaders out there. I don't mean to leave anybody out, Ken and Deb, TL, whoever it is out there. I don't know everybody's mindset, where you are, what your commitment level is, but I'm all in. And I'm going to be a couple $1 billion of this growth just on our team, and I'm going to make deadgum sure of it. I've done it one time before, and we're about to do it again. So if you don't feel like betting on yourself, bet on me, because when I go all in, I'm not about losing. We're fixing to win, Chris.
Can I add one more thing, Chris?
Yeah.
One more thing, and I'll be done. You know, I said the company was deciding between 2 companies to do the merge with. Just keep in mind, both of these companies bring, whichever one it is, bring huge attributes and a lot of new things to the company. And I was thinking, for a sports analogy here, Todd, Chris, y'all can relate to this for sure. We're deciding between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. either way, we win a lot of Super Bowls.
Yeah, I think what we got to understand is that those companies are courting us. They're trying to convince ARIIX why we want to do what we want to do with them. And one of the companies is actually a little larger than us right now. And the thing, we've had several things come across the chat room. Your Bill of Rights is still in place. ARIIX is still the name of the company, the core management team. The most important, Fred, Mark, Jeff Yates, those guys, Deanna, the products are not going to change. Deanna's still the chief product officer. All the things that you're concerned about, those are, if you're not, we've talked a lot about the stock and riding the wave on the stock. If you're just wanting to be a rep and you not think you want to be in the stock, don't worry about that part. It's still, the reason it's so good for you as a rep. I want to add one thing, and Todd hit on this about the leadership, and we could talk about leaders from around the world. I don't know a lot of them. I've seen some of their growth. What I can tell you is this stock situation, one of the most important things, in my opinion, and I think Aaron and Ken and Todd would all agree with me, is leaders have already been working together well. Cross leaders that don't have any effect on our paychecks. And we talked about the folks from Canada. We talked about the people that came over from Limu. We can talk about all the leadership. They've all worked together, even though we were cross lines. Guys, do you realize we're no longer cross lines if we're in the stock market together? If we buy stock in this country, Ken Bailey and I are not in the same line. We're in different legs of Todd's. But I can assure you, we're now financially, I say, we're financially tied now. So it's about betting on the leaders. And Ken used the scenario of that. I've always called our owners the dream team. And the main thing is they're going to stay in place, guys. All this does is create a much bigger picture. And guys, I'm even going to probably post something. Would you have loved to heard about Apple before anybody? I remember seeing that Apple logo and wondering what the heck that was. And now I got 2 iPhones sitting here, an iPad and a MacBook on my desk. Yet I didn't know what that Apple logo was. I remember seeing it. I thought, what the heck is that? I saw it on somebody's car. I remember it years ago. I thought, what is that logo? It looks like an apple. Now, of course, we know who they are. Guys, there will be a day, and it will be in your lifetime, when people will see an ARIIX logo and that little symbol, and they'll say, man, that's a huge company right there. They may not even be a part of it. They'll have heard of it and what it's done. You don't have to believe me. I like what Aaron said. This is being recorded. Come back here 10 years from now. Now, Aaron said, come back and point me toward this, because guys, they were predicting. I heard last night one of the owners made the comment, we may do 600 million this year. Have you ever noticed that these guys never over predict? They're always under their predictions. So guys, we don't know what we're going to do. I know this. Momentum is already here, and all this is is like Ken said, is add fuel to the fire. Guys, any parting words? We're getting all kind of questions. I just believe what Aaron said. You know, when we came here, I don't want to sound anything that sounds like a negative statement. When they said they wanted to be one of the top 3, I mean, I'm like, dang, that's a pretty lofty goal, guys. I mean, you're talking about becoming a $10 billion company or $8 billion or whatever it is to be in the top 3. And I thought, I don't care if they just become a $1 billion company. That's good enough for me because I can get my percentage. But guys, I really believe now they're going to do it. I know they'll be top 3. I'm not so sure now they're not going to be the biggest because of the way they designed the company to take over the smaller companies and make it lucrative for the small companies to come on board with us. And what you've seen, think about this. We've just announced publicly, we've had 3 big companies join us in the past 90 days. Limu, of course, was a longer merger, but the other 2, I mean, you've got all these things happening. And from what they said on the call yesterday, this is the part that's exciting. Stay tuned. More announcements coming over the next 30 to 60 days. Todd, you want to hit on that?
Yes, I do want to hit just a couple of things on seeing the chat room. So the first thing is none of us know what the stock price is. We don't know the day it's going to officially announce. We had an early meeting and nothing was said on that meeting that wasn't said to the overall group last night, and that is approximately 2 weeks, could be 30 days. They told us to, just have if you want to buy stock, just to, prepare yourself. But when we all find out, we'll all find out. And I don't even have a speculation. We do not know what the companies are. I have zero idea. So don't know anything there. So I don't have any. Scott, this is not a stock tip call at all. I'm just here we're going public, and I do not know the dollar amount. Fred said around $4 or $5 yesterday, but he didn't say it precisely. So again, this is for me a lot more about growing a business, and I get a chance to have ownership in a business I'm going to grow anyway. So that's what I'm most excited about. Obviously, everybody wants to buy low, sell high one day. So obviously, we'll all do our best to do that. Scott, everything that we do is both an acquisition and a merger. Every company we bring on board is both. So like Lemieux, they're a division within our company, ARIIX. So whoever we're bringing in, there'll be divisions in ARIIX. But the difference, but we're also merge them. So like with Lemieux, Jeff Racer, or the Racer son, is now head of our marketing department because he's very, very talented. And a couple of other people on their inside came in. We merged in their distribution center out of Dallas, Texas. We merged in their office out of Orlando, Florida. So same thing, acquisition, merger. They're all going to go under the ARIIX brand scenario. So we've acquired and merged every company. It just depends on the wording you're using there. So it's a little bit of both going on every time. The big thing is you want to do that in your business. Don't. I always tell people we can sit around and talk about this all day, but when I get off this Zoom, I'm making phone calls. I may not know somebody myself that owns a company, but I know somebody that might know somebody that might know somebody, might know somebody. If I talk to enough somebody, they're going to know somebody that owns a company, and we're going to get a little company and somebody's business out there by doing that. So anyway, exciting times. Aaron, Chris,
Aaron's trying to get unmuted, Chris. I couldn't unmute him, so if you or Anthony or somebody.
Okay, I think I got it.
Oh, got it. Go ahead, bud.
I just want to quick two things, guys, and I apologize. But number one, to Todd's first point about going and making friends, guys, go make friends, but go find a bunch of people you can serve. The one thing about every leader on this call and everyone around the world, they've got it down. They serve people. They don't use people. They serve people. Go serve more people, and that's how you're going to win. And number two, you don't want to know the name of the company, and you don't want to know the stock price. You don't want to know anything until they announce it, because if you know, you're going to be tempted to do something, and that something could land you in prison. So I don't want to know nothing about nothing until I can do something. Just remember that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what they all cautioned us on yesterday, is to understand if we had a way of finding out that you want to end up with one of those sales like Martha Stewart got, because that's illegal trading. So guys, what we want to do is be watching, because when the announcement is made, we'll actually be in a little better position than the owners, because we can buy stock before they can. They have to wait a few days. We can actually purchase the day it's announced. So
a couple more things in the chat box, Chris. They were asking about AO. Jeff Yates said on the call yesterday they had plans that we would be able to convert AOR dollars to stock. Think about that. A lot of you are getting ready to get several $1,000s into your travel account here next week, and you can convert that to stock when it happens. That's a pretty cool deal right there. And then Fred Cooper said, as y'all have said, several more announcements coming this year, but he specifically said, Todd, Chris, one of those announcements would differentiate us from any other ever public company in our arena. That's a pretty cool deal.
And all I'll say is everything they promised us 7 years ago, they have delivered on multiple ways. If you just want to build a business, do that, because the company is going to grow, and it's just going to get better. You're going to have more products, more options. The comp plan's not changing. Your Bill of Rights is not changing. It's exciting. We could talk on the chat room forever. We don't know any more than you do. You've learned everything that we have. Stay tuned. We will continue to try our best to let you know everything we can. So it says that the stocks are only available in the U.S. I don't know about Robinhood. I'm just now learning all that stuff. I used to use a stockbroker. So.
Yeah, and don't forget there will be no July 4th is Saturday, so no training Saturday morning. But Monday morning, the overview will go live Monday morning. Vince Green, Dr. Crystal Vance, Tammy Crown-Weedy, Anthony Moreland, and myself will kick off next week with our presentation at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. And everybody out there have a great weekend and have a super blessed 4th of July.
See you guys.